Okay,
All right.
hi, I want to welcome everyone to another episode of TTELT, Teaching Tips for English Language Teachers. And this is a program of educators worldwide. I'll be your host today. My name is Robin Miller, and I'm going to introduce our guest who is originally from Uzbekistan. Her name is Sharifa Djurabaeva. Did I say your name correctly?
That's correct. Yes.
I had to to pause and think, oh my gosh, what's your last name? So I'm glad I remembered.
Yeah,
Okay.
no problem.
So Sharif is currently teaching in the United States and in a very challenging public school situation. So Sharifa, can you go ahead and describe your teaching situation?
Hi, I have been teaching for, this is my second year of teaching for almost 2 years at public school here in the United States. I do teach mainly newcomers. We call newcomers are the students who have just arrived from other countries, immigrated to the United States, and they are learning English. Some of my students do know a little bit of English. They have learned in their own countries as a foreign language. Some of my students have never learned English. Some of my students even have missed a significant amount of time without going to school. So students come with various needs and with various proficiency levels. So for the most part, students are new and their English level is either zero or at a very, very beginning level. Those are my newcomer students. And I also teach, we call them beginner level students. So we call them level one. And those students have already been in the United States and have learned a little bit of English, started learning, but still at the basic level. So
Oh.
that's my situation.
Okay, so your topic today, you're going to focus on attention getters, which there's a lot of information out there, but in your very challenging situation, you're going to share with us today what you have found effective with your students. So can you go ahead and maybe tell us what do you do to get student attention and maybe give some examples.
Sure. Since I have students every week, a new student coming to my classroom, and as I said, they're coming from refugee camps. They haven't been at school. It's really hard for them to be focused in the school environment, or in general, like every other teacher faces this, I wouldn't say a problem, but this procedure or process in the class where you need to get students' attention or move from one task to another task, or students lost their focus. So in these cases, I have been using some attention getters instead of raising my voice. And you can find a lot of information there on the internet, and YouTube has plenty of information. But what I did was, like, I have been a little bit changing and a little bit making some adjustments that works for my classroom. So in general, what we know about attention getters, like, for example, I know that some teachers do clap their hands and then students respond back to them by clapping. Sometimes teachers count, but what I do is or sometimes teachers sing. What I do is I use this called call and response technique. In this technique or in this way, what I do is I say something and students respond back to me. So that helps both students to be engaged. Students and teacher are engaged.
Okay, so can you give us an example? Again, these are students who are so low that, you know, their English is so limited. So give us an example of what works.
Sure. So what worked for me is, as I said, like every week I am having a new student and I have to start teaching them ABCs, start from the alphabet. So instead of teaching each student the alphabet, I have the alphabet on top of my board. And then when I need to get students' attention, when they need to move from one task to another task, I say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and students respond back to me. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, A, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Q, R, S, I say Q, R. Now I'm losing myself. Because that part is students' part. So I'm losing it. So I say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, A, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. So that's how we repeat. As one of my students, some of my students are sometimes silent. They don't say anything when they start. They are just quiet. They're getting used to those patterns. Sometimes some of the brave and students that want to make light up the classroom, they might say like, wow, 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 wow. Basically, I had a student. She used to just utter something for the patterns. So that
She's
was
picking
really
up
interesting.
the intonation of the language.
Yes, they
Yeah.
were, yeah, the tone, the intonation.
Mhm.
And then they gradually they join this call and response activity.
Okay. Do you do, besides ABC, is there another type of call and response activity that you do?
Yes. Sometimes I use the song like that many people use, and I have learned that from my own teachers while I was learning English in Uzbekistan from my Peace Corps volunteers, humanitarian workers that came to Uzbekistan to teach us way back. Like, for example, I start singing, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. And then students
All
start
right.
clapping
Yeah.
their hands.
Right. And then we called it total physical response, where you're actually doing
Yes.
physical activity, you know, to go with what you're singing or saying. And that's a very effective technique.
It's very effective. The other couple of them are that I love using, and students love. I was really surprised. I love this Eric Carle's book, Brown Bear. And I have the big book and I open it and I say, brown bear, what do you see? And then students see the next, I see red bird looking at me. Red bird, what do you see? I see yellow duck looking at me. And it goes on and on and on.
Right.
Right now,
But the
I think I
students
see,
pick it up and it's
yes.
repetitive enough that, yeah,
Oh,
very
here's
nice.
what's happening. Students are learning simple present tense and questioning. What do you see? WH question. And addressing brown bear. Colors. Students are learning colors. Students are learning the names of animals. So many things are happening. Students are learning the the plurals. Sometimes I put the text and then we go over and I say like, for example, how do we say one teacher, teachers, or student, students.
Mhm.
S, we add S for plurals.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Sharifa, but where did you find this book? Is this something that's available online? Did you have to go buy it? You know, if other teachers are interested in using that resource, how can they find it?
I'm sure that there is an online version, probably.
Okay.
The good thing is here in the US,
Mhm.
what I do is like I go to libraries and get from libraries those books, or I go sometimes to garage sales and then I buy them for my
Okay.
classroom. That's how I was able to bring a lot
Right,
of books.
right.
In fact, there are lots of books online that teachers from other countries can look up. They're free.
Okay.
I can send
Okay.
some of the
Okay, maybe we'll have a
links.
place for comments, you know, once we post this presentation. And maybe you can add some links where teachers can find some of these materials that are good in teaching beginning students. As you say, you know, one resource I can teach so many things from in the example you just gave. So
Yes.
yeah, so we'll go ahead and put these down in the comments if people would like to explore and look for some of these materials. Okay, all right. Are there any other attention getters that you find effective?
Yes. The other one is I found the book because I found the book, and apparently then I learned this had different regional variations. Like one of them is like 1, 2, buckle my shoe.
Mhm.
Um,
I remember learning
then
that as a child in America.
yes, many people use. I mean, knew them. Native speakers know that
Mhm.
as kids, and then I started talking to my colleagues that teach. We are in the mathematics wing, and I had mathematics teachers, and then they were saying like, "Oh, we say this way, we say that way." Like there were
Mhm.
some regional variations, like
Mhm. And again,
5,
we would do the
6.
actions when we said these things as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We do the actions and we
Mhm.
do again like 5, 6, and students say pick up sticks. Like what
Mhm.
is stick? How sticks? S. What is S? It's the plural form of sticks.
Mhm.
And they're
Yeah.
learning also the numbers. Now I'm thinking, I'm still thinking of like, how can I teach math vocabulary through this? Like maybe I should start teaching them like 2 times 2, and students say equals 4.
Okay.
I should come
Yeah.
up with some rhymes
Uh-huh.
for mathematics, for shapes, like for many other things.
Very interesting. Wow. That's a wonderful idea. You know, I taught for over 30 years and I never thought of the simple things like this to do. And
Right?
I used to work tutoring individually with slow students and wow, you're giving me so many ideas here.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah,
Good, good.
songs work really well. I start singing very
Mhm,
in a soft voice when class is like kind of moving from one activity to another activity, and class is so engaged, and then you want them to finish on time, and then you want to move from one activity to another activity, and I start singing singing, and then or sometimes I sing the ABCs. I say A B C D E F G, and then
mhm,
they start responding to me in a song.
mhm,
That could be the same those songs like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and
mhm,
then
mhm.
students can one of the students noticed, and he says, like, Miss D. They call me Miss D because my last name is difficult to say.
Yeah, it is. It's a
Miss D, you
mouthful.
have a great voice. I said, like,
Oh,
I didn't
that's so
know. Yes.
sweet. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
so sweet.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Sharifa, let's wrap things
Okay.
up. Do you have any
Thank you.
advice for teachers who are starting in a situation like yours?
For the most part, what I would suggest students, like, build a relationship at the beginning with your students, good relationship, and try to use various strategies. It doesn't have to be the things that I have told, like come up with your own ideas.
Mhm.
Singing especially works really well. Or maybe culturally relevant songs in English, or little rhyming words in English that are culturally relevant to your students might be really, really useful.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being our guest
My
today.
pleasure. My
This-
pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Again, we'll go ahead and put some links down in the comments where teachers can find some of these resources. I'm Robin Miller. I've been your host today on TTELT, Teaching Tips for English Language Teachers, a program of educators worldwide. We invite you to like and subscribe on social media, and also add comments and perhaps even share a teaching tip that you have tried. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.